Hold on to your helmets. Max Verstappen's contract holds a bold clause. If Helmut Marko bids adieu, Verstappen can hit the road whenever he pleases. Now here's where it gets juicy. With the power struggle rattling the Red Bull camp, this clause could be a high-stakes gamble. And just when you thought things couldn't get more exciting, Mercedes has a coveted spot opened thanks to Hamilton's departure. Max Verstappen, the current Formula One champion, apparently has a special clause in his Red Bull contract. This clause is connected to his advisor, Helmut Marko. Even though Max has a contract until the end of 2028, earning him around £50 million each year, there's been talk about his future with the team. The recent troubles involving team principal Christian Horner have raised questions. Horner has been fighting to keep his job, having played a crucial role in Red Bull's success since its start in 2005, winning 7 drivers' titles and 6 constructors' championships. In the past few weeks, there's been an investigation into Christian Horner, the Red Bull team principal, for inappropriate behavior with a female colleague. The 50-year-old was eventually cleared after a thorough review of the evidence by Red Bull GmbH. However, just a day later, an anonymous source sent out an email with alleged WhatsApp conversations between Horner and the woman. This email reached influential figures in FIA, F1, Liberty Media, the owners of the sport, and various members of the F1 media. Horner faced a tough situation, but he stood firm, saying he had solid support, especially from his family and his wife Jerry, a Spice Girl. Despite the challenges, Jerry chose to attend the Bahrain Grand Prix with him. They were seen holding hands and sharing a kiss in the paddock. On the other hand, Verstappen's father, Jos, made inflammatory remarks, possibly before the race, suggesting that the atmosphere within Red Bull was tense and could explode if Horner remained in charge. Verstappen hinted at a him or us scenario, suggesting that his son Max might leave if Horner continued to lead the team. Things got more interesting when Verstappen's dad was spotted talking with Mercedes team boss Toto Wolff. To add to the intrigue, they were seen having dinner during the Bahrain Grand Prix weekend while staying at the same hotel. Now here's the scoop. Verstappen has a clause in his contract that lets him bail if the team's performance isn't up to par. But with his fantastic start this season and winning big in Bahrain with the RB20, that clause seems unlikely to kick in. But wait, there's more. It turns out, according to reliable sources, that Verstappen could also hit the road if Helmut Marko, a key figure at Red Bull, leaves. It's like a real-life soap opera in the world of Formula One. So here's the lowdown. Verstappen and Marko have been tight for a while. Last year, when it seemed like they were trying to kick Marko out after his contract expired, Verstappen had his back. The contract got renewed eventually, but the loyalty was clear. Now there's this clause thing in Verstappen's contract. It's not like he's planning to pack his bags, but at least there's an option. The tension between Verstappen's dad and Horner, the Red Bull boss, got a bit intense during the Bahrain GP weekend. But guess what? They had a meeting in Dubai on Monday to smooth things over. Horner and Verstappen's manager, Raymond Vermeulen, got together to clear the air and chill things out. Crisis averted, at least for now. Or is it? Marko, Max and Newey are like one group, and they're from Austria. On the other hand, Horner is in a different camp, and he's more aligned with the team's tie ownership. Now there's talk that if Horner stays, Max, Marko and Newey might leave the team. Berger, who seems to know a thing or two, says it's a possibility. Marko even suggests that he might step down to make it easier for Max to leave if he wants to. But here's the twist. Some reports say that when they talked about Marko and Newey leaving, they meant retiring, not going to another team. It's a bit confusing because Newey has been hanging out with Horner, which is surprising if he's not happy with him. It's like a red wedding situation. A lot of unexpected twists and turns. To add to the confusion, there are rumors that Marko might be okay with Max moving to Mercedes, and some say Newey might not be on Horner's side. It's a bit of a mess, and we're not sure how much of it is true, but it's definitely causing a stir in the F1 world. Right now, it seems like the only reason Christian Horner is still with Red Bull Racing is because of support from the tie owners. Everyone else in the team, especially Marko, Max and Newey, is putting a lot of pressure to make the owners change their minds. I'm guessing Horner might be sticking around due to some contract thing. Maybe he gets a big payout if they let him go. The tie owners really seem to like him, and they're going all in to support him. We shouldn't underestimate what Horner has done for the team. Back in the day, after they bought the team from Jaguar, things were tough. Horner talks about it in a podcast. They sent people home early, there were layoffs, and morale was really low. But look at where they are now. It's a big achievement to turn a drinks company into one of the most successful F1 teams ever. It didn't happen overnight, and Horner played a crucial role in getting them here. Waiting until 2026 makes sense for Max Verstappen. The upcoming seasons, 2024 and 2025, look promising for him with Red Bull, and switching to a potentially weaker team doesn't sound smart. The idea is that by staying with Red Bull for now, Max ensures he's in the best possible position for the 2026 season and beyond. Right now, many drivers don't have contracts for next year, so the options are open. If Max decides to make a move for 2026, teams would likely scramble to sign him. Ferrari might be hesitant due to their loyalty to Leclerc and Hamilton, but history shows that Ferrari isn't always loyal when it comes to drivers. Remember, they pushed Schumacher to retire for Kimi Räikkönen. Currently, though, there's no internal power struggle at Ferrari like back then. In essence, if Max Verstappen becomes available, almost every team would do whatever it takes to have him on board for the 2026 season. Jos Verstappen and Helmut Marko are clearly trying to push Red Bull into making some decisions. A recent report suggests that Marko is concerned about losing Max, Newey and Ford, adding more pressure. Even though Red Bull might want to keep Horner, the Thai owners may not want to risk losing Max, Newey or Ford. There's a bit of a power struggle going on, and it's unclear how it will play out. It seems like they won't let go of Marko, no matter how harsh his words are, especially considering the situation with Checo. If Red Bull were to release Marko over this, Max could activate his exit clause, making things even more complicated. It's a bit of a spicy situation, and it looks like Jos and Marko are making moves to oust Horner, which might just work. By the way, it feels like Marko is giving interviews almost every day. Whenever there's some F1 news, you can expect a quote from him within a few hours. Eric Van Haren showed that in Jeddah, George Russell was asked about the possibility of teaming up with Max Verstappen in the future. George responded, "Every team wants the best drivers, and Max is currently the best. I'd welcome anyone, and I believe I can compete with anyone." I can picture George Russell winning a few races against Max, but consistently outperforming him over a whole season seems unlikely. However, if George becomes more consistent, he could be like a Nico Rosberg figure. The key factor is whether they're competing in a dominant car like Red Bull currently, or in a situation similar to Mercedes. If it's just George and Max in top cars, it's tough for George, but if there are 3 to 4 other competitive teams, I wouldn't be surprised if George gives Max a run for his money across a full season. Remember, George beat Lewis in his first year at Mercedes. Although Lewis wasn't at his best and was testing things for the team early on, George consistently outperformed him even in later races. So there's a chance a similar situation could happen with Max in the future. The drama that has been going on in Formula One lately has been off the charts, but thankfully there is something going on with Red Bull looking to dominate the season yet again. Fun and exciting times ahead. What are your thoughts? Do you think Verstappen can join Mercedes and do a Hamilton? Let us know in the comments below.